We'll see if it works.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. What's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Oh
Yep.
yeah, what's up, man?
Oh, now
Yeah.
and you're listening to the stream.
Oh no,
Yeah.
That's good. Make sure to mute the stream.
Cool, cool. Is that better?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome, awesome.
Oh man. Let's let me get your portfolio up. You're in Denver.
Yeah, I'm in Denver, Colorado, over here in the United States. So it's
What
like
time is
almost
it
10
for you?
o'clock, I guess it's time.
10 a.m.
It's 2:52 in the afternoon here.
Oh, oh, I thought you said. Yeah, it's almost 10 p.m. here. Uh,
Gotcha, gotcha.
anyways, let's. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So my name is Eric Rogers. Like I said, I'm from the United States, and I went to university for 3D animation, and university programs in the United States are usually 4 years instead of 2 or 3, like they can be in the UK. So I've been doing general 3D for about 4 years. I graduated school in May, and I've been learning game art and environment arts for about 2 years of those 4 years. So
Yeah. Crazy. Did you just like wait? How old are you?
I'm 27.
Dude, crazy. Okay, so I'm trying to understand it. Are you in games now, or you're working towards
Yes.
getting into games? Yes.
Oh no, no, no. I'm working towards getting a job.
Right. Oh, dude, I'm remembering your abandoned warehouse now as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, cool. Okay, let's just dive into it then. So if we look at first, we'll look at Duke, which is 2 years ago, but it looks cool. Do you want to talk about this one a little bit?
Yeah, this was a university assignment, and this was our hard surface semester. It was our final project, so it's kind of the culmination of everything we learned. So he's sub D modeled. He's modeled for film, since my university didn't teach game stuff or baking or anything like that. So I think he's a little bit out of place. I think if I was going to remove one, it would probably be this one. Um, but yeah, I think the textures are probably the weakest aspect. I feel good about the model
Yeah.
as far as like a film model goes.
Did we hear like a what was that? What was that sound? It
I
sounded
have
like yeah, go ahead.
I have like 18,000 ArtStation tabs open, so every time I get a notification, they all ding at different times.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Yeah, the struggle's real. Uh
Yeah, yeah.
dude, that's great. I mean, so you're saying you feel like this piece is out of place. Is that just because you've gone more towards environment art?
Yeah, and just because it's, I'm pursuing game environments specifically, and I
Yeah.
mean, he's way, way too expensive for games. So I feel like it's kind of I don't know, a little bit separated.
I mean, it's really funny because I used to feel like when I used to say that, oh, that's not game art ready. Like why are you even doing that? But dude, the reality is you need to get comfortable with just being able to recreate shapes and model things quickly, right? And I mean, I still feel like Duke is worthwhile in your portfolio if you feel like it represents your ability to model, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Do you think it's worth redoing the textures? I feel like the textures are a little bit, I don't know, a little too clean, a little too like the white is too bright.
Dude, you're that's so funny about the art station. I don't mind it, but it's cracking me up because now I know what it means. Um,
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I don't know how
no,
to
no,
how
it's
to mute.
okay. Art stations in the house. So I mean when I look at it, I think what screams to me is like you're saying the white paint is probably too bright. So to me that contributes to the amount of detail that's going on. Uh, so like it's very busy, right? So that 30-70 ratio that we're talking about, or 70-30, where 70% rest, 30% high detail. Um, if you start by removing the paint and then only adding it in key areas, that'll probably work wonders for what you're doing. Like right now you've got paint, I think, on the bolts, or like on some of the bolts. Like I'd remove those altogether. Like I don't think there'd be any reason why they would put that paint on them. Right? Like the white paint. Yeah, see even here. And the warning patterns, or like the stripes, those would probably only be around areas where you would expect people to either be working on the machine, or like that they need to be careful for it. It all depends on what you're trying to tell with that, right?
Yeah, I think at the time I was just trying to add visual interest, and I probably went a little overboard, which is why I think this one hasn't aged particularly well, at least for me.
Yeah, if you were to look at this in grayscale without any textures on it, it's already interesting enough, I think. And so it's more about like, I would probably put like some of it. Let's see if it's like the Duke logo. I wouldn't put any paint around that, and then I'd put maybe the triple stars and all the awards. It's awesome, all the medals, and then maybe like the stars on the back area here, and then the stars on the fists, and then the rest is kind of like, I guess you would have the flag and the star on the shin, and then it's maybe about the paint for the medal, like this kind of greenish color, and just kind of aging it up a bit, and you get a little bit more character out of that, and you're golden. Yeah, was there a reference for this?
It's there's a concept. I think it's on ArtStation. The model was the concept. The paint is all original. So it's all just kind of winged it.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, you should, when you do that. I mean, this is kind of an old post as well, but I mean, when you're replicating either a concept or a 3D piece, I would link it if it's possible in the either in the area below or like in the comments. Oh yeah, Casey's saying it would be, I would say that a good reference for paint is robots in Fallout, especially Fallout 4.
Yeah, for sure. I dropped the original in chat in case anybody's curious, but I'll definitely add it to the post too.
Nice. But yeah, let's keep going through here, and let's look at the did this abandoned warehouse, have you finished this?
I haven't. I'm horribly embarrassed because I put it on Stream Critiques, and you were giving me all this feedback, and I was taking notes, and I was like, yeah, that's so good. This is going to turn out so awesome. And then I just didn't get around to it. So,
well, I mean, you can get to it whenever you get to it. I'm just curious because whenever I see a work in progress in the portfolio, I don't know if the person forgot to remove work in progress and it's actually done, or if it is actually work in progress.
I probably should remove work in progress. Like, I just think that it could be better, and I know that, so it's hard to call it done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At some point you have to close the door, I guess, on it. I don't know. Caught red-handed, Kaze is calling you out. No, it's good. It's good to chat with you though, man. Put a voice to the name. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've been on the Discord for a little less than 4 months now, and it feels like so much longer than that.
It does. It feels
it's good
way longer than that. I'm actually
good to
surprised
talk
now
to
that you
you.
said that. Oh yeah, I like the run through of the space. This really helps with like understanding scale and looking at the shapes around the scene. It's actually, the scale looks pretty good on the assets.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least
Do you think
from
that those
the running around. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think that those modular breakdowns work okay? I struggled with those a lot. I didn't really know how to show off the
I mean,
modular aspect.
this is a great view of like how this is how you break these down, and like how many pieces there actually are. Asset zoos, polygon. Yes, asset zoos. I think the only thing that you could do to maybe like push this further is I don't know if you'd set up like a vertex paint for the walls at all.
I haven't yet. It's on my list.
because I think when you do this type of breakdown, it might be interesting to lay the breakdown in place like this, and then just start the recording and just kind of paint over some of it and just kind of show what it does when you paint on it. But if
Gotcha.
the thing is like, you don't have to do vertex paint to make these look good, right? The either dripping effect, or like if you want to put damage or aging and gunk under the window frames and or in the little corners and gradients on the base, that can all happen in like a mask where you're just putting in either roughness changes or value, or the decals, like Sudsy Bubbles is saying in chat. Dude, that name. Sudsy, I love it. But to answer your question, the layout here is gold. Like it's really good, and it shows the detail. I'm surprised actually that the floor is wood pieces like that. Just because like I don't even I don't even know
like texture.
Well, I don't I mean, I see it in the video, and I don't know how much you benefit from it. Like it does look like it's pretty detailed, but I guess I would expect to see it in like, is it the whole length of the building for that one piece, or are you doing it twice? And then
I think that's 4 of them put together.
Oh, okay.
I think it's like 200 meters.
Yeah, it might be worth just having one of them just to see how it's put together. Like how you get the ground to look the way that it looks. But
about those materials, Casey, I see the
these
chat.
sears.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, the wood does look really good.
Do you think it's worth making those a separate post, or are they fine as is as part of a bigger environment?
I mean, I think it's fine as is, unless you're trying to become a materials artist, right?
Okay.
Like what?
That's kind of what I went.
Yeah, what's the direction you're going towards? You want to make environments for games, right?
Yeah, environment artist for sure. I don't think I'd be a good material artist. I think I take too long.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, whoa. Oh, that's interesting, Ben. Ben's surprised that you don't have any issues with light leaks through all the boards on the floor.
Ben, I might have issues with light leaks. I don't even know what that is. So.
That's just like, that's a funny response, man. I mean, you just got lucky, I guess. It's like basically if light bleeds through the boards when you do like lighting. I don't know if is this real time lighting, or are you baking the lighting?
It's baked lighting.
It's baked lighting. Okay. Yeah. So I guess we're expecting the light to like bleed through the gaps and kind of affect the light maps around the bottom floor. But it might be thick enough that I don't know. Those look pretty thin, man. I don't know how you're not getting light bleeding through there. But I mean, don't worry about it. It looks fine.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
The light angle right now, you've got a light shaft coming through the window, or the hole up above, but the windows don't have light coming through, and I think that's another thing that could really make the side path that you run through right here. That could make that view so much more interesting if you have light coming through either this side or the other side, depending on the light direction.
Yeah, for sure.
But let's go ahead and look at so we got a substance designer of Ferns. Oh, dude, that's kind of crazy.
Ben, I see you in chat. I'm glad you're here for this. Just because, I don't know. Hopefully you appreciate
it. Dude, your art station cracks me up, man. What's the reasoning behind that? Having so many tabs open?
I don't know. I'm a reference fanatic. So like when I see a really good project, I'm like, oh, I want to save that and come back to it later. You know, study from it, and look at it some more and break it down. So I have a bunch of different tabs open for stuff. I mean, like I could probably like save them all to a folder, but
I mean, they have collections on ArtStation too, if you want to do it that way.
Dude, they do. I forgot all about that now that you say that.
Yeah. Dude, I say that and I don't even use them, but like collections are super useful.
Yeah. I think I just figured out what I'm gonna do with all my open tabs.
Dude, this is awesome. These ferns look pretty good considering their the way they're being generated is pretty nice. Is there anything that that you'd learned from this process that did you like doing this?
I took a vegetation class. I actually took it off my art station because it was the first time I had done vegetation, the first time I had done anything for games, and it was a huge learning experience. But I didn't like that you couldn't iterate on plants very easily whenever you sculpted them and textured them. And
Oh, right. No, that makes sense. Wait, did your mic get cut off or are you good? No, he's quiet.
just a bunch
Yeah.
of dang
Oh
it,
no,
dang
there
it.
you are. No, you're good.
Can you? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, you're
Sorry,
good.
the stream is
I was
buffering for a
like, dude,
second.
is my internet screwed
Um,
again?
yeah, so I was watching some designer tutorials at the time, learning the fundamentals and tile samplers and stuff, and I was like, man, it'd be so cool if I could repeat all the little fern shapes with a tile sampler.
Yeah, I mean, you seem to get a detail that I don't usually see when I see foliage that's created with designer. So this looks, yeah, these look really good. I think when it comes to the character of adding like branches or fronds on a fern that are discolored or aging or dead or old, it's like those are the details that'll really kind of push it just that much further.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Just because it's like the composition of a plant has a lot of those types of details where it's like, okay, this when you have a tree, for example, the bottom of the tree where the branches start, like there can be like dead or old branches, and then like the younger ones are up above. It changes the shape of the branches, the length of the branches, the size of the leaves, all the there's like all this character to where you're looking at on a tree based on like age and all that stuff. So and that kind of carries through in all foliage. But it's really cool to see. I think in the thumbnail doesn't really do justice to what we're looking at. Like I kind of feel like the ferns here should be the thumbnail.
Would be better. Gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
definitely. Yeah. Also, I think with Duke, just to profit from it a bit more, is to zoom in on one area. Like
Mm-hmm.
if we just copy this image and brought it into Photoshop, and then let's go to your portfolio. Yeah, if you were to just look at your portfolio, I'll just mask this out really quick. I think getting a close up of Duke is probably the way to do it. So we can convert this. There we go. And so any type of let's see if we can find a good spot. It's like trying to find a detail that looks interesting when framed independently.
Oh, you think that close?
Yeah, like it could be
Okay, okay.
because then people go, oh, what is that? You know, and it gets I bet your click rate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see, I didn't even see these bombs on the bomb count on the leg. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because now it's like, okay, you see that and you're immediately like, oh, what's going on here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Much more intriguing, I think, to see. Oh, can I
Yeah, I
not?
struggle with the thumbnails a little bit for sure.
Yeah, thumbnails are kind of weird sometimes, so I get it. Oh, I just destroyed the whatever. Anyways, I think this would draw more attention, and it kind of like with the thumbnail it alleviates that weight issue that I was talking about with the 70-30 rule. Of course, there's a lot of details going on here, but you're not being overwhelmed with this. Now it's kind of a issue now because when you click on this, the next image you see is going to be a flood of information.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but you will get more people clicking on it because of the thumbnail adjustment, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then I guess we've got the creature cave and the modular rock structures. And
Yeah.
do you want to talk a little bit about the modular rock structures?
Yeah, so this was just kind of my process of learning rocks. So I think from starting my first rocks through what I came out with, spent probably over a year on and off working in iterations and just kind of trying to improve my skill set overall. So yeah, they've got scale aware textures. They have an RGB mask instead of vertex painting to break up the tiling repetitions. They have an edgeware mask, a dirt cavity mask, all kinds of stuff.
You like doing this, like the technical side of it?
Yeah, I got pretty into it. I felt like because my school didn't teach anything for games that I was like behind the learning curve as far as like the technical side. So I really tried to dive in deep and learn the workflows.
Yeah, this is I mean, this is straight out of like this is something I would usually see a tech artist help set up with an artist. If you were in a AAA environment, sometimes tech art can be setting up shaders and building what artists and prop artists need. And this is like
Hmm.
right into that category. Is this like this top image? Is this a bunch of different pieces kind of pushed into each other to get the
Yeah, that's like 20 instances of the same two rocks.
really? I mean,
Hmm.
the end result is quite good, and I like Casey says in chat, I would love to see a shader breakdown of this.
Yeah, I have the parameters at the bottom, like all of
Yeah,
the, exposed things worth changing. Do you think like an actual like screenshot of the graph would go well in a post like this too?
I mean, it might be. I would say it's probably even more interesting to do a blog post and like
Gotcha, gotcha.
break down each of the segments of like how you're doing it. And
Hmm.
I mean, of course, it kind of shares like how you did it, but that's I don't think that's that big of a deal to share that with the public because at the end of the day, I mean, dude, you're so popular. At the end of the day, it doesn't. I mean, they would still have to execute the assets in order to benefit from learning how you did the shader. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I wasn't like worried to share it or anything. I just
mm,
didn't know if it would. I didn't know if anybody would care. If somebody would be like,
oh,
yeah, that's a graph. I know what that looks
dude,
like.
I would love to. I would care. I'd want to see it
Cool, cool.
because
Good to
it's
know.
like that type of stuff uh, is really valuable to see how people are thinking and side hustle. Dude, people are like, "Yo, he's hitting the jackpot." Cha-ching, man. Yeah, Polygon says the RGB mask breakup is super cool. Dude, you're getting super
I
into it
swear
now.
they're doing it on purpose now.
It's probably because they're all following you in chat. ArtStation's down, getting his dopamine hits. Dude, that's genius.
Feels
Anyways,
good. Feels
this is
good.
really impressive, man. Uh, and you said you were working on rocks for over a year,
Yeah, I mean,
so it
I
sounds like it was a
also
deep
debated.
project.
Yeah, I debated putting some of the earlier iterations in because I mean they're bad. They were really really bad at first. So I thought maybe sharing those just to like kind of show the progression. But I felt like it was already kind of a bloated post anyway.
Yeah, they're saying ArtStation's down. I don't want to hear that. No, I'm
I
having an
think I
okay
think they're
time.
saying I broke it.
Oh, okay. So your last scene. This is Do you remember I commented on the shadows?
Yeah, yeah. I have that image too, the one that I dropped on stream critiques, and I was comparing it the other day, and it's a big difference.
Oh, you even have the plants in here. Okay, and the rocks. So you kind of taken everything that you had learned.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Kind of applied it.
when I look at the dude, win. Uh, when I look at the image overall, I think the top left, you're really seeing like the benefits of what happens when you have those shadows to help you describe the shapes. I'm still missing a lot of like it feels like it feels like the tree is floating. I don't know. I
I
don't know
had
if
a I
you
had a
see
friend
that.
point out that there's no contact shadows, and I don't know why there's no contact shadows. I think it
Yeah.
might be because I'm faking some of the lighting to brighten that
Oh,
up. Um, and I think that I think the light isn't casting shadows, so it makes it feel weird.
yeah. So contact shadows and just ambient occlusion in general would help with that. But like, yeah, I wonder what some. There's definitely no shadow information going on there, so it's that type of detail that I think is breaking the. Because see, when I look at the branches, I see light coming from above.
Mm-hmm.
So that and that's fine. Like, let's so you've got light coming from above. You come down here, and this looks pretty lit. This surface looks like maybe there's some point lights set up around it. Maybe
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
you're just trying to like brighten up this area. Is that how
Mm-hmm.
is that how that's working? Because that is definitely like if there's any shadows, like they're just gonna get wiped out because lights are just gonna
Mm-hmm.
fill those shadows in. Um, and the ambient occlusion only shows up in shadow. Unreal gets real pissed when
Oh, I didn't know that. Because I have the AO turned up quite a bit in the post process, so I think there's
oh
a
yeah,
little bit, but I don't think it's working very well.
yeah, because I see some ambient occlusion over here, but like it'll only show up in the shadows.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Ben's in chat. I think still is that still correct? Because I don't know if it is with is this Unreal 4 or 5?
This is UE4.
It's UE4. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because oh my god, I just figured out what? How did I not know that? Oh, I feel dumb. I forgot that alt was the eyedropper.
I
Why did I forget that?
I
Anyways,
think we've all learned something today.
my yeah, dude. Either that or I lost part of my brain and I just retrieved it again. Uh, but oh, so Ben's saying he thinks his screen space AO is post process after lighting, but
Okay. Okay.
is it being
Mm.
is ambient occlusion being occluded by by the shadow stencil? Like if it's shadow, ambient occlusion shows up, but in direct light, AO is off. Like, is it a harsh like on and off like that, or is ambient occlusion still happening in direct light? That's the question I guess I'm asking. But yeah, the contact here is super strange feeling. It doesn't feel like there's any. It's very much floating. And I think
Mm-hmm.
when you look at the shadows of the rocks up here, like that dark shadow, I guess you expect it to be quite dark in here. Um, just as like a side note, I don't know if this is and it sounds like you're in the U.S. Is that a jet flying over?
Yeah, I'm right next to an airport.
Yeah, the waterfall
This is
elements are
just
really cool. I just
yeah.
heard the
Those
really
are my
subtle
teammates.
flight. Oh, so this is a group project then?
Yeah, this was my senior thesis, so it was a year long project, and it was a huge environment. It was way too much, and this is the only section that I feel like was 100% finished. So
Yeah,
can you
big
see
projects are
the scene
crazy.
has a directional light coming in from the top, and then I think it has two spotlights, one to boost the tree and the cliffs behind it, and then one to boost the base of the tree. So I think there's three or four lights total.
It's actually not all that many lights. So I think it's just a matter of toning down the base of the tree so that the shadows can kind of
Mm-hmm.
because you're getting shadows from the leaves on the trunk. And I think if those shadows were able to propagate further down, you would get a really interesting look down here.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And
Do you think
I'm
that
not
the
really seeing ambient occlusion in any of the ferns around the tree either. So everything's
I
very
was
flat
just
in
going
that
to ask
area.
if you think that they're too glowy. I struggle with those a lot, and they
The
And I think the
ferns?
subsurface might be a little bit much. Yeah,
I mean, I see what you're talking about. Do you have a mask for your subsurface?
I don't know.
Because like that'll do a lot. Because like subsurface, right, is light passing, like the amount of light passing through a surface. If I am quoting that correctly. But if you have like a
Hmm.
image that tells you the density or how thick certain parts of it are, that is simulating that there's less light passing through those pixels. So you basically would need a image that shows where the thickest part of the leaf is, and like all the little
Hmm.
veins and stuff, and as those get thinner they would become whiter in that mask. But yeah, I think that's one of the ways that would help this look a little bit more natural. And the other thing is just there doesn't look like there's any ambient occlusion, and the color matching with the grass. They're just a little like darker compared to the ground. But the top
Hmm.
left with the waterfall looks fine.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's I think the main stuff is the shadows are just not they're not helping you when they could be really pushing the scene.
Yeah, Ben says in chat that I might want to consider making it baked lighting, and I had thought about that. I just had spent so much time on the dynamic lighting that I didn't want to like bake it and have it all messed up. So I think I'll play around with that for sure.
Yeah, backlighting would give you a whole lot, I think, actually, for this, especially for this type of scenario.
Hmm.
But do you have any questions? Like I'm
Yeah,
just
I
kind
was
of going through
wondering.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, looking at the portfolio overall, do you think there's anything that I'm missing? Is there anything that you would want to see out of an environment artist applying for jobs that you don't see?
Um, I mean, a lot of the times it's like, so right now what I'm seeing in your portfolio is you want to do environments. I see organic stuff, and then I see a work in progress scene, a material, and a hard surface like sub D model. Um, and
Hmm.
so I guess what I would want to see is a fully completed scene. So the tree is probably the closest, but then without any of the weird errors, like the contact shadows or the tree just feeling like it's floating is super strange. Um,
Hmm.
but I think looking at that baked lighting approach, making sure you've got a skylight in there, and then um, trying to rely solely on the lights that are accurately present, and then it should look more natural that way. Because with the way that you've placed lights at the base of the tree, that'll really affect the way that it that it renders those surfaces. And because they're brighter, it feels unnatural for unknown reasons. You just know that it doesn't feel right. Um,
Hmm.
the rock uh, piece, I really like this one a lot, mainly because it shows your. I kind of wish there was like a blog series that kind of went through you dealing with rocks as you went. I don't know if you've got any. It looks like you've got some rock stuff going on in here, and then you got your
Yeah,
warehouse.
yeah. I was embarrassed to post them at first because I didn't know if they were gonna end up good, you know?
Mm.
So I could have in hindsight, but maybe it just turned out that I sucked at rocks the whole time, so that would have been embarrassing.
I just go for it. You just post and see what happens. And then I would honestly I would finish that warehouse and just get it out the door, so that way you don't have to worry about it being a work in progress on your portfolio anymore. Um, but let me think about what else you could add
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
might be missing. It might be nice to see just
Do
something
you?
that you don't normally have in your like you don't have currently, like maybe some like
Yeah.
metal work or like a
Hmm.
scene that's not organic. Maybe inside of like a apartment complex or a room. Storytelling is something I always like to see.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think that it'd be beneficial to do like a really high quality prop study? I feel like a little bit that I'm missing that.
I mean, I think I think you are missing that mainly because Duke doesn't answer it because it's sub D. If you could make like, I don't know, 1 or 2 assets and just focusing on material and PBR values and just making that look good, that would kind of prove out that you understand materials and assets. And then it's just a matter of like, okay, do I need to like make a scene again now, or like those few props I think you could get from a scene, right? Like if you just did the desk of like a guy in a cubicle, just some guy or girl that's working in an office job in a cubicle, and build that cubicle space out and just tell the life of this person through the props and the materials that are present, that would add something to your portfolio that you're not seeing right now, right? You're getting like man-made modern material surfaces kind of figured out. You're showing PBR and details on assets, and you're just focusing on a really small space. And like if the camera pulls back, you can just reuse those assets and fake an entire cubicle space. So it becomes really easy to have the camera start further back and slowly zoom in as you're going into the space, and then you're good. I think that would answer a ton of questions for me when it comes to where your quality is at.
Gotcha. Last question is I applied for my first AAA job the other day, and I was curious what you think. Do you think I should expect to hear back? Do you think I'm ready for that? Do you think?
Man, I hope that I would hope that all studios respond even if they say no. But more likely than not, they say nothing. Which is super annoying. I would say what you should be doing once you're applying is like shotgun applying. Like you pick 3-4 studios that you apply to. You apply to all of them uniquely, not with the same application, right? And then you wait like 2 weeks, and then after that second week, apply to 2 more, and then the week after that, apply to 2 more, and then you have this cycle of studios that you're just applying to. So no matter how many ignores or declines you get, you're just kind of keeping with the flow.
Yeah. Doesn't stall you at all.
Right. But I would say like what I'm seeing in your portfolio right now, I don't know what I would hire you for, because I don't know if you want to do organic stuff. The rock asset is probably the most impressive thing that I'm seeing. And then you have a work in progress piece on your portfolio. So it's like it's cleaning all of that up, defining what you want to be, and then like really pushing those qualities. Like maybe you're like that scene I was talking about, that would answer so many questions that I would have had. But what I'm seeing right now, what we do is at where I work, we would actually send you a feedback. Like there's 2 of us, and we'd give you feedback, and then you would get declined, and then all of that information on why you were declined. Because you can't understand why someone says no if they just say no or they don't say anything. And the other thing is, the reality is not every studio can do that, especially if like hundreds of people are applying. Like imagine them trying to make a game and at the same time giving everyone feedback. But
yeah, that's super helpful. I really appreciate it.
But is there, I don't know, does that answer your question? I can't hear you. He's like, I'm done. I'm out of here. His mic may have gone out again. Oh no.
My internet is a little choppy, I think.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. That more than answers my question.
All right, cool. I was like, oh shit, he's pissed. Like he's out. He just hangs up. And you're like, yo. But no, dude. I finished the abandoned warehouse and crack onto another scene and just focus on, like, I think what you were saying is a good idea. Focus on some materials.
For sure. Jeremy, thank you so much.
Yeah, no
Really
problem,
can't thank
man.
you enough. It's been awesome.
Yeah, it's good to chat, and I look forward to your next piece.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks everybody in chat on the Discord. You guys are so great.
I love it. All right, I'll talk to you later, man.
Yeah, sounds good. Have a good night, Jeremy.
See you. Awesome. Wholesome. I love the wholesome. All right, guys. It is 10:30. We had internet issues, but we made it through.